Hello world, this is Jeffrey, JGB146 Blake, coming to you with episode 6 of the Adventures of Alolan Ninetales. And what I said yesterday was wrong. Somehow I thought yesterday was Friday instead of Thursday. So we do have another entry into the series that will count for any tips posted this weekend as far as the best tip earning an Alolan Ninetales GX on PTCGO. But with that, we'll go ahead and get some matches. Okay, for this match I failed to hit record in time to capture or even see the energy types, but we're against Team Sheep. I faced this opponent a few times. Generally he's a pretty decent player. I don't remember what he was playing last time we played. From the deck box we'd think Psychic, the card backs say Fire, and the coin says Greninja. So, if we're going to guess based on any of that, I'd go with the deck box because that's what he's going to see when he's picking a deck. But could be anything. What do we have? Trubbish. Okay. So this is going to be an Espeon Garbodor deck. That works for me. So as long as we don't play too many items, we aren't going to be in danger of being knocked out. So theoretically, we could attach stuff to the active. However, if we want to use speed to get set up, we'll need to attach to the bench. It's kind of a trade-off there, especially in a Garb match where using items can hurt you. I go ahead and play the Rough Seas here, and I go ahead and attach because our hand is kind of questionable. I think we're just going to end, well, I say that. Well, because we're going to get Octillery out, Octillery's in the deck, we can go ahead and get Brigette. And we'll be able to play enough of our cards down that skipping the in is okay. We're also going to have no items, so the worst that could happen is he comes up and confuses our Vulpix, which will just, heal the damage away and then evolve the confusion away. So, yeah, Brigette here makes more sense than an in. And we will get a Vulpix and not a Remoraid. Okay. And another Vulpix and a Koko. So our Remoraid was prized. We really probably should have noticed that before choosing our Pokemon. Not sure if it would have changed our choice there or not. Actually, it would have, because we're going to be stuck for draw for a while. So we're just going to go ahead and Beacon. And we will get 2 more Ninetales GX, and the good thing here is that our opponent will likely in us if they're able to. See you have a good deck. I always like to throw a heart and say the same thing back when I don't think it's a terrible, crazy deck. And what else do we see from the opponent? We see an Ultra Ball come out. And discarding a Flareon to get a Lele. Okay, what else did he discard? It's more important to watch what Lele gets and see what happens here. Most likely this will be an in to get rid of our Ninetales, and that's kind of okay with us. We do see the in. We see we do get a Ninetales in hand, and our opponent's able to evolve into Garbodor, attaching Float Stones all over the place, really all over the place, and Let's see if what he gets. So here we'll go ahead and evolve, I think, the active, and I think we can Dive Ball to get another Ninetales. And then I kind of think we want to just Kukui here to do 70 damage onto the Garbodor. This way we can follow up with an Ice Blade no matter where he is and get a KO next turn. Throw that down. Get the 70 damage, and it is our opponent's turn. Our opponent missed an energy attachment last turn, which has to hurt. But he is almost halfway through his deck, so it's not like he hasn't been able to look at cards. They just haven't been the right cards. We see a Lysandre bringing up our Tapu Lele. And then he brings up his own Lele. Okay. So, I think we're gonna Ultra Ball, discard the Vulpix and the Octillery to get another Ninetales, just to have our whole board developed. And we can attach the DCE onto our... We could go onto the one that already has energy, or we could go onto the other on the bench. Kind of either option is okay. It just depends on whether we're trying to develop more or just get one going. I was kind of hoping we'd get a Float Stone there, but at the same time, with our opponent's energy issues, we don't have to be too worried yet. Of course, we're holding Choice Band because we're against our Garb deck that tends to play lots of Field Blowers to boost their damage. They do discard a Rough Seas. That's not going to matter to us. We top deck our Float Stone, so that's great. And we can retreat into the most energized Ninetales. We can add an energy to the active. We can add a Choice Band. We can take a KO on Tapu Lele, and then we'll be able to follow up with a KO on whatever he has in the active, one way or another. Again, I didn't want to go ahead and play the... I guess technically if he gets an Espeon, we wouldn't get a KO, but we wouldn't necessarily get a KO. I didn't want to miss this knockout, though. It's pretty good for us. We do get 2 of our Remoraids back, which is all of them. All of our Remoraids are available now. I can't remember if we've discarded both Octillery, though. And our opponent manually is able to finally evolve into Espeon. Still drawing really poorly, it looks like. We definitely don't want to play the end to help them out. So I think we can go ahead and attach to the bench here, and we'll just take our bench snipe knockout on the Garbodor there. And we do see multiple Aqua Patches in our hand. That's not ideal, but not ideal simply because we haven't managed to find a way to discard any water energy to set it up faster. Looks like we're going to see an in from our opponent, which will finally get him some cards and take away lots of our cards, many of which would be useful, but that's okay. We still have played very few items, so we'll probably see Espeon come out. and the amount of energy that we have in play, it won't take a knockout. We'll see 150 damage, which will probably just put right back onto Espeon. We see an Ultra Ball. For a Lele. And a Psybeam. Okay. So, I think here, first we're going to heal with our Rough Seas. And I think we attach a water energy to the bench. And then we can retreat into the bench. Since he only did a Psychic attack to confuse us, we basically completely mitigate it by retreating. Counting our items here, still very low count, we're in virtually no danger. So I will go ahead and Field Blower away the 2 tools, because it's not going to make any difference. And now we'll go ahead and Blizzard Edge for 160. Didn't get the KO, but we are guaranteed to be able to get a KO next turn. Either through Ice Blade or, well, basically through Ice Blade. We're not going to waste our time with anything else. We see a Lele come out. And what's Lele going to get? We did not take a knockout last turn, so he can't get teammates. He gets a Sycamore. I don't know that he plays teammates. I've seen it, but not so much in Espeon Garb decks, obviously. Sycamore for 7 new cards. Good for him. And we do see a Choice Band. We see a... Give our attention, give our happy face that you finally got another Espeon out, and you got a Choice Band. So here, I think what makes the most sense is actually going to be to attach a water energy to the active, and then to GX for the knockout, because then we'll have a knockout on basically anything. I didn't feel the need to heal, since we're just gonna Ice Path all the damage away. Obviously we didn't need 150 damage there, but it's still helpful. And I think by doing this, we do open up to a fair amount of damage from Lele, but that damage is not coming. And even at 100 damage, okay, we let him take a KO on 1 Ninetales to then have a guaranteed KO the following turn. I say guaranteed, that's assuming that we would get well okay, so we lose our Rough Seas, and apparently I should have healed last turn to heal the benched Ninetales. I wonder if that'll bite us. We do get another water energy, so I think we're going to play the retreat game again. I'll go ahead and grab Octillery out. Glad he was still there. And then we can't use Lele because we haven't had a knockout, but we'll get a few cards this way at least. Just kind of counting items. It's not quite enough to be dangerous yet. We can Aqua Patch. And with the Aqua Patch, we'll be able to do enough damage to guarantee a KO next turn, because we'll still have two energy left on this Ninetales after retreating. So retreat and send out the benched one that should be fully healed if I hadn't missed that with the Rough Seas. And for good measure, just thinning the deck and looking what's in there. Go ahead, click done, and then play Sycamore. And okay, so we can even throw the Choice Band on here. And we can Blizzard Edge. Now there's even water energy in our discard, so we could, even if he were to promote Lele, we could take a knockout with the Aqua Patches and using the BS Seeker to hit Kukui. So we don't even have to do that. We can just Ice Blade the benched Espeon at that point. But it's an additional option if we needed it. We see another Garbodor come out. Well, I guess this is the first Garbodor, right? So we don't quite have enough items. The Garbodor will get the KO here, but I almost wish it did so that he'd get some VS points for this. That said, we can just retreat. We don't need to draw it out. We'll just retreat and Ice Blade for the win. Normally I'd click well played here with a heart, but I don't want it to come across as snide since he drew so poorly. But with that, we take the victory. Now, just like yesterday's video, I was able to get another Espeon Garb match, so we'll go ahead and throw that one into this video as well. Without further ado, let's see the next match. So we see Psychic and Colorless. So this could be the dreaded Grandpa Garb or Espeon Garb. We see a Zoroark coin, but there was no dark coloring. We get a Tapu Koko start. That's pretty decent. We also have a DCE in hand and a Float Stone and an in. I said Float Stone. I don't know why I said Float Stone. That's not the important part. Yes, I'd like to draw another card, even if it's a pointless card like a VS Seeker. Okay, so our opponent is forced to start Tapu Lele. That's not ideal for them, which means it's, okay for us. And it looks like he's attaching an energy and then going to pass. No. Alrighty. So he limits our bench to 3. We can live with that. And he Ultra Balls for another Tapu Lele. I'm guessing this is going to get an N. Could get a Brigette if he has a draw supporter in hand. A Lily, okay. Lily and sort of equally good in the beginning. I mean, not equally, but either way, when he's got 2 cards in his hand, it's 6 fresh cards. So see another Ultra Ball, and we see a Trashulance Garbodor hit the floor. So that's good. We know he won't be inning us, so we can go ahead and make a few plans. So we will attach the DCE to Koko to get some spread damage and put things more in range for our Ninetales down the line. We see a Trubbish come out, and that's an excellent case in point with Trubbish coming down, and because one hit, excellent. We go ahead and get a Vulpix. We'll attach the DCE here, and I think we definitely don't want a Sycamore right now because we get rid of so many good things. I'm hesitant to N because he only has 3 cards, but he probably has a draw supporter. And we'd like to get a little bit more than just one Vulpix. The downside is that we do have a Ninetales and an energy in hand, but it's just a water energy. So if this was another DCE, I might not have ended there. As is, we get lots of Pokemon. We haven't been able to even check our deck. I think we're going to Ultra Ball away one of the Octilleries, and I guess one of the Ninetales. That hurts me a little bit, but we can eventually Rescue Stretcher it back. Oh, and good, we have one more in deck. So we'll go ahead and get a Remoraid. And bench the Remoraid so that we can evolve it next turn. And then things should roll fairly smoothly for us from there. So we will go ahead and do our spread damage, putting everything that's currently out within one-hit KO range, the Trubbish from a snipe, and everything else from just the Blizzard Edge. We do see another Float Stone come out. So chances are good that Octillery isn't going to be super useful for very long. But if we can even get one turn of use, that'll be great. I'm curious what partner Scumbag Craig has for Espeon. I'm sorry, for Trubbish, for Garbodor. If he has Espeon or not, basically, is my question. We see a DC come out, looking at a total of 100 damage from Tapu Lele. That's fine by us. We didn't die, so that's great. We'll go ahead and evolve here. Go ahead and evolve here. We're not going to bench Lele yet. It wouldn't even notice a card until we would played the supporter. We'll Abyssal Hand. And we will bench a second Vulpix. So now the question is, well, I guess it's not really a question. We don't have any other options. Basically, our only option now is to VS for an in or just to go with it. We didn't get an energy attachment in yet, so I think we do want to look at some fresh cards. What do we see? Okay, we got lots of stuff now. That's kind of nice. Alrighty, so we can attach a DCE to Ninetales and take out the first Trubbish, or we can attach a DCE to Ninetales and spread some more damage so that all of them are within snipe range. I kind of like that idea, so I guess that's what we're going to do. We'll go ahead and Flying Flip. And from here, our job with Ninetales gets a lot nicer, I think. He's not going to be able to evolve all of the Trubbishes next turn. We can attach a Choice Band. I don't know that it's necessary, though. And Garb decks do tend to play lots of Field Blowers. Right now we only have 2 items in our discard. And that's kind of nice. So we see another DCE come out. And a Sycamore. Okay, so 120 damage. And we do see an Eevee. So this is Espeon Garb. He was just really slow about getting that Eevee up for some reason. And if he doesn't get Ability Lock Garbodor up this turn, we'll be able to prevent it from coming down next turn as well. Okay. So 140 damage is what we're looking at. He can't do more than that with this Lele. And so if he attacks our Ninetales for 140, we will be able to just Ice Patch that back on. Actually, I say that. It'll be 160. Even if he adds another DCE, it would then only be 100 or 200, which we'd still be able to heal away with our GX attack. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and attach the Choice Band here, and then I think we're going to end first, even though we could Octillery for one card. Fresh Hand is nice. We do get another Dive Ball, so we can get another Ninetales out to start setting things up. And that's what we'll do. And more or less, no matter what happens, we get a KO next turn. And this turn. I mean, we're taking out the Trubbish. Okay, we get a Sycamore. Sycamore's not the greatest of cards because we can't. We sort of like to keep our Aqua Patch in play. But, you know, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It's kind of nice for us that our opponent has committed so much energy to Tapu Lele. Because we will get the one-hit KO next turn, unless he retreats it, in which case, I don't know what will happen. We'll have to see what happens then. Our opponent plays a Teammates. I assume he's going to get Espeon out, and that's okay. It's not quite ideal, but it's okay. We see a Field Blower come down to add our Choice Band to our discard pile. That was the chance that we took, and maybe because we were inning, we should have left it on the Ninetales, but that's still only 4 items. Oh, he left our Choice Band. He discarded his own tools, so he's adding a Choice Band to Tapu Lele. Okay. Is that enough? So we got... Now it is. That's unfortunate for us. We were really in good shape until he managed to pull off that combo. But now things are pretty rough because he'll take the KO. And how do we respond? We will have water energy in the discard. I don't think we have any way to KO Lele at that point. Okay, so I think we have to promote Octillery. Yeah. Okay. So we will get to use the Aqua Patch to get an energy back. And then we will manually attach another energy. And now we're going to... I think we're going to Sycamore, looking to get one more Aqua Patch to attach one of these energies to take the one hit KO and remove like all of our opponent's energy in play, and we don't get it. So what are we doing? We get the Float Stone. I think we want to hold the Float Stone. I guess at this point we sort of just have to hope that our opponent does not have Lysandre. So we're just going to click done. Basically, I think this game is coming down to whether or not our opponent gets Lysandre. If they do, they can KO our Ninetales. I guess if they have Lysandre and some more energy. Because right now they have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 energy is 180. No, they can KO with just Lysandre. But if they are not able to play Lysandre for the KO, we get a KO on Lele, and like so much of their energy disappears. Then we still have healing with Rough Seas. We see a Rescue Stretcher come out for another Tapu Lele, and I think this is going to be for Lysandre, and we will lose. Does our opponent not have Lysandre? Brigette. So our opponent doesn't have Lysandre in their deck. Okay, yeah, 2 copies there. Novia Seekers. Okay. So all we have to do is find an energy. We found an energy. I guess technically, well, I was going to say we need 2 to deal with Octillery, but we don't. So, what's up? Alrighty. We can bench the Vulpix. We can... Do we attach the Choice Band even? So here's the thing. Attaching the Choice Band I think is fine. We're virtually guaranteed to get more energy and Aqua Patches if we were to Sycamore. If we end to 5 cards, it's very likely, which puts our opponent down to 2. I think that's what we're going to do, is attach. Because we'd really like to be able to attack this turn and next turn. And limiting our opponent's hand size is good too. We have so many energy in our deck. Okay, so that's good. We will Aqua Patch to get an energy on the benched Vulpix. We will attach an energy here. We still have to find Rescue Stretcher, but let's do our item count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 140, which is okay. Alright. The only way to take out Lele is to discard the energy. That's unfortunate, but we'll do it. Blizzard Edge, discarding 2 energy, which is a little bit painful, but removes a huge amount of threats. We do see a Rescue Stretcher come out of our prizes, so that's nice. We will be able to get our Ninetales out of the discard that way. We could bench the Remoraid. But I'm not sure if we want to. So I think we want to attach here. I think we want to play a Rescue Stretcher. I know we want to play a Rescue Stretcher to get a Ninetales directly into our hand. We aren't going to be able to play Kukui along with the Choice Band, so we are not going to be able to take a one-hit KO on Espeon. So I think we're going to Ultra Ball away the Remoraid and the Lysandre. I think we're going to fail the search. Let's do that. We won't fail it because we want to thin our deck a little bit more. We do not have any Aqua Patches left in the deck, unfortunately. So we'll grab a Vulpix just to thin it out of our deck, because if both of these guys die, then we're done for. And then we will Sycamore. Okay, so we have options now. We have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 items. That's 180. So Garb will get a one-hit KO on the injured Vulpix, or the injured Ninetales. So with that in mind, I think we attach here. No. I shouldn't have attached that. I think I should have attached a DCE. So who do we want to hit? I think we're hitting the Espeon for 80. Unfortunately, next turn, the max we can do without flipping heads. Okay, and we are going to see a Trashalanch come out for 210 because of the Choice Band, and that ends it. I feel like we got kind of extremely unlucky with him being able to pull off the Field Blower DCE Choice Band play there with that Lele. That definitely turned the game for us, but I think we would have had a good shot if that hadn't happened. It was definitely a match that our opponent did everything, everything fell their way and prevented us from fully setting up. So hats off to the opponent for playing their deck well. But with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up for today.